On a record in two cases. The first case is cause number 319870, and the second case is cause number 320882. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Marco Antonio Valencia. Mr. Valencia, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Valencia, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Okay, Mr. Valencia, you may put your hand down. How you doing, Mr. Valencia? I'm doing fine. Mr. Valencia, the information alleges that on or about August 11th, 2018, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, you were charged with the Class B misdemeanor offense of failure to identify a fictitious name. Mr. Valencia, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to discharge Mr. Valencia, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you're actually guilty?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Valencia, I'm gonna show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit Number 1. You notice here that, first of all, do you recognize this document? And you notice here I've changed it. This is a Class B misdemeanor offense, and basically the range of punishment is confinement in Jefferson County Jail, anywhere from 0 days to 180 days, which is 6 months, or you could be given a fine from $0 to $2,000, or you could be given both such fine and confinement. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, Mr. Valencia, are these your initials on the line that says guilty?
Yes, sir.
And on the next page of this document, Mr. Valencia, is this your signature above the line that says defendant?
Yes, sir.
The next document that I have is the trial court certification, the defendant's right of appeal. Mr. Valencia, do you recognize this document? And is this your signature above the line that says defendant?
Yes, sir.
There are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box states that you're waiving, which means you're giving up your right to appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
I have another document here. This document is titled the Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the second line of this document that says defendant, above the line that says defendant?
Yes.
Now, prior to signing and initialing these documents, did your attorney, Mr. Rojas, go over these documents with you?
Yes, he did.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1. State, you like to offer State's 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
No objection. State's Exhibit Number 1 will be admitted. Mr. Rojas, you have advised and counseled Mr. Valencia. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Valencia, your attorney, Mr. Rojas, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
And has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes.
And just for the record, Mr. Valencia, prior, I think you've signed, initialed all of these documents freely and voluntarily. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Valencia, you satisfied with your attorney, Mr. Rojas? Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, he has.
Okay, Mr. Valencia, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea of guilty and waivers was freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And state, what is that agreement?
The state is offering 30 days jail time, and this is to run concurrent with case number 320882.
Mr. Valencia, the state is offering that you serve 30 days in the Jefferson County Jail. Now, Mr. Valencia, you'll also be required to pay court costs. Now, Mr. Valencia, will you be able to pay court costs of $352?
252. Yes, I will. I'll be able to.
Okay. Now, Mr. Valencia, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
Do you accept the state's offer?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Valencia, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you've entered into with the state. Mr. Valencia, you'll be given credit on this case for any time that you're entitled to get by law. In this case, will also run concurrent with clause number 320882. Okay, Mr. Valencia, we will proceed to your next case. The next case is clause number 320882. And in this case, Mr. Valencia, the information states that on or about October 28th of 2018, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, you were charged with the class A misdemeanor offense of cockfighting. Mr. Valencia, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Valencia, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest?
Guilty.
And are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you're actually guilty?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Valencia, I'm gonna show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
On page 2 of the same document, Mr. Valencia, are these your initials?
Yes, sir.
And on page 3 of the same document, Mr. Valencia, is that your signature above the line that says defendant?
Yes, sir.
On the next document, which is titled Trial Court Certification Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the bottom line that says defendant?
Yes, sir.
There are 2 boxes checked on this document. The first box says that this is a plea bar in case you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Second box says you're waiving and giving up your right to appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Also have before me the discovery certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature above the line that says defendant?
Yes, sir.
Now, prior to signing and initialing these documents, did your attorney, Mr. Rojas, go over these documents with you? And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer State's 1?
Yes, sir.
No objection.
No objections. State's Exhibit number 1 will be, and Mr. Rojas, you advise, and counsel Mr. Valencia in this case as well. Is there any evidence that he's currently mentally incompetent?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Valencia, your attorney, Mr. Rojas, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes.
Mr. Valencia, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea of guilty and waivers was freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
The state is offering 30 days jail time to run concurrent with case number 319870.
Mr. Valencia, the state is offering, in this case, that you serve 30 days in the Jefferson County Jail. You'll also be required to pay court costs of $257. And this case will run concurrent with clause number 319870. Mr. Valencia, would you be able to pay the $297 court costs?
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Valencia, Mr. Valencia, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Valencia, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. And Mr. Valencia, you will be given credit on this case for any time that you're entitled to get by law. And again, Mr. Valencia, this case is running concurrent with clause number 319870. Mr. Valencia, stand over here and get your judgment. And Mr. Rojas, you will be excused. And Mr. Valencia, you can have a good day. Both of y'all can have a good day.
Thank you.